Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth, the Education Coordinator for Marlene's Market in Delhi. Tonight's special guest that we have with us is a wonderful local Ayurvedic counselor. She has many expertise and tips to share with us this lovely evening. Breastfeeding ups and letdowns. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Elizabeth, for having me today. And I will share with you my screen. Does everyone see that? Okay.
Looks great.
Okay, I can't see the chat now, so if you have questions, just write them, but I will discuss that later. So welcome to this presentation on the ups and letdown of breastfeeding. We have a beautiful picture here and it looks so peaceful and so easy, but sometimes it is not so much so. So today I want to talk to you about a few issues. My name is Ariane Chenard. I'm an Ayurveda health counselor. You can find me at Puget Sound Family Health in downtown Tacoma, or through my website, elementsofayurveda.com. I offer one-on-one Ayurvedic consultation. And also I have a program that helps you implement Ayurvedic tools and learn the basic of Ayurveda over 1 year. Following the seasons, because Ayurveda is very much in tune with seasons, so tricks for diet and lifestyle, etc. And I will also be soon offering a program to manage irritable bowel syndrome that should be starting in January. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to contact me through my website or at the clinic. We are here today and you are at the right place if you are going to be breastfeeding soon or later. You want to do that, or you are breastfeeding right now and maybe you have a few challenges, or maybe you just want to know more about breastfeeding in general, or you have breastfed in the past and you have had challenges and you want to know more about what happened. I had plenty of challenges myself, and this presentation is for me a way to give the information that I wish I had when I was in the thick of it. The objectives are to support breastfeeding mothers that might be feeling overwhelmed and stressed. That is something that might obviously happen. I'll also offer easy to understand information for common breastfeeding conditions from an Ayurvedic point of view, and offer safe avenues to help with common challenges. Sometimes just a few changes in diet and lifestyle, just adding a few herbs or spices can make a lot of difference. It does not need to be complicated. So I will start with talking a little bit about Ayurveda, a few basic principles and how they apply to breastfeeding in part 1. Part 2 is the basic of breastfeeding, just what's going on physiologically and in your body and how things work, so you know a little bit better. And I'll talk about common challenges: low milk supply or too much milk, engorgement, mastitis, cracked and irritated nipples, things like that. And we'll conclude and you can ask questions. So what is Ayurveda? First of all, Ayurveda, the name itself means the science of life and longevity. It is the oldest system of medicine. It's from India and it started being written like over 5,000 years ago. So it's really old. It comes from the same philosophy as Buddhism and yoga, the Sankhya philosophy. And it's a search for balance with diet and lifestyle. It is very much a preventative medicine. You want to avoid getting sick. So you catch imbalances right at the beginning and you bring back balance and all is good. You help your body maintain homeostasis and you maintain good health with that. It's a science of habits, meaning good habits build over time to maintain good health or bring back good health, just as bad habits that you might not know are not optimal, things that you do that don't affect you right away, but over many years can lead to imbalances and all the way to development of diseases. Ayurveda is also a folk medicine, meaning everybody can practice Ayurveda. In fact, everybody is practicing Ayurveda to some extent. Sometimes we might forget how we do Ayurveda, but it's the natural way of balancing our body. The basics, the very basis of Ayurveda is that you can qualify everything around you, everything in nature, everything you feel, symptoms you feel, or food you eat with the qualities of nature called gunas. There are 20 of them. I'm showing them to you. It's not important that you learn all of them right now, but just to show you, there are 20 organized in 10 pairs of opposites, and each of these pairs is a measure of something different. Weight, intensity, temperature, moisture, and if you want to retain just the very basic ones, cold and hot, or wet and dry, just that, you can determine many things and help you make better decisions just with these ones. The way we do Ayurveda, well, another very basic principle is that like increases and opposites balance, meaning that if you have a lot of one quality and you keep adding the same quality, you will end up with an imbalance. For example, if I feel cold, I might be a person that feels cold often, and I don't necessarily realize, but what I do, what I eat, it increases the cold quality in my body. Maybe I like smoothies, cold smoothies in my diet. This will add more of the same quality and will create an imbalance. On the opposite, though, if I feel cold and I'm telling myself, well, today instead of my cold smoothie, I'm gonna eat a warm soup, you just created balance. You just practiced Ayurveda. Or you feel cold, you go and reach out for a jacket or something. This is how you practice Ayurveda. So it's why everybody does, but we are not necessarily aware of what kind of imbalance we feel. Like there are symptoms forever of too much coldness or dryness or heaviness that we might miss because we are not necessarily paying much attention or just very aware that they are imbalances. Also in Ayurveda, everything is come from 5 fundamental elements: ether, air, fire, water, and earth. And these fundamental elements make up 3 vital energies, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, that are responsible for all processes in our body. Vata is the notion, like it's more notions, like it's how they explained a very long time ago how things were happening in the body. And Vata is very much movement, respiration, elimination, everything that moves in your body, circulation, breathing, or the movement of food along digestive tract. This is all Vata. And Vata is made up of ether and air. So it has specific characteristics like dry, cold, light, etc. Pitta is metabolism, transformation, and heat. It's fire and water, and it's hot and sharp. It's the only way you get heat in your body is with Pitta dosha. And Vata and Pitta are mostly immaterial. Pitta has a little bit of matter in the sense that the digestive enzymes and bile and some fluids like that are considered Pitta in Ayurveda. But otherwise, like heat, it's not, there's no matter really. Vata as well. Kapha, however, this is everything you see, the skin, the bones, the nail, the hair. This is all kapha. It's structure, it's nourishment, it's moisture in your body. This is all kapha dosha. It's made of water and earth. And it's a dense dosha. It's solid and it's stable. While vata is movement and it's very light. And pitta is heat and it's light as well. So these are the basic of Ayurveda, and how they apply to breastfeeding is that not one issue will necessarily have the same cause or the same way to manifest for different people. Low milk supply might come from something different depending on the person, and might be a result of vata imbalance or kapha imbalance, for example, and we'll see that in more detail, and depending on some characteristic in the person. So let's get started. So now you have a brand new baby. You've been pregnant, or someone you know has been pregnant for a whole 9 months. Your body has been doing something absolutely incredible, making life and creating this beautiful baby. And now it's here. And there's 3 trimesters of pregnancy. And we forget that there should be a 4th one. The 3 months after birth are very challenging, especially for new moms. I know for me, it took me, for my firstborn, it took me a whole 3 months to just feel like I'm gonna have I can do that. Because all of a sudden, in a matter of hours, you have a baby, and now the baby who was totally fine inside and you had not much to do, just take care of yourself. Now it's requiring all your attention day and night. Also, you might want to go back to doing what you used to do, which is now most likely, especially at the very beginning, too much. And you might not be willing or able, hopefully it's not the case, but you need to take time to rebuild strength. This is a very traumatic, giving birth is a traumatic event for the body, even in the best of case. When the baby comes out, it creates a very big void in your body. This emptiness, it's ether, and it's vata, and it's very aggravating. Plus, there's all the hormone changes, like in fluctuation, that will make you super happy 1 minute and crying the next. And you might start feeling all sorts of emotions, possibly anger, frustration, low self-esteem. You might be sore and you feel like you are not free anymore with a baby just around all the time. So these are things that that most likely you will encounter at some point. You want to be careful. Postpartum depression is real. So if it's something that you think is lasting, or it's out of the normal range, what is the normal range? We don't know, but like you want to seek some help for sure. So for this next 3 months, the 4th trimester, you want to be very gentle on yourself. Remember that taking care of yourself is the only way that is sustainably is going to allow you to take good care of your baby and family. Otherwise, especially new moms, like all of a sudden there's this shift in your brain and your baby is your life, and you start neglecting maybe your needs. And this is going to have repercussion over the long term. So you want to remember, you want to always take care of yourself. That's the only way you'll be able to do a good job sustainably for your baby and family. The first 6 weeks postpartum are really, really important. And it's a good idea to plan for these 6 weeks to have help. Not necessarily every day or whatever, but some frozen meals, like stock up your freezer with prepared meals. Have friends like, okay, this week this friend brings 2 days worth of meals. Even if it's not every meal every day, just a few times, that will help. Have meals and grocery delivered, have friends and family help with chores and with other kids, and let people take care of you. You might think you're Wonder Woman, and we all are, but really this is a time where you need to just focus on your baby and let the super Wonder Woman idea fade a little bit. Have your support network take care of you. And it's a bit sad sometimes. We're not in a society that necessarily offers a lot of supports for new mom, but there are networks, and maybe your doula or your midwife can help or guide you towards support networks. Don't stress about mundane things. Your house is going to be messy for the next 18 years, I think. So don't stress too much about things like that, and ask for gifts of help, maybe instead of things. We need things when a baby arrives, but maybe instead of so many pajamas, your in-laws or your friends can offer a service for someone that come and help clean your house once a week for a few weeks or something like that. And it's a good idea to join a group where you will be among women that are living the same. So La Leche League, plus it's helpful for breastfeeding in this case. So now let's talk about breastfeeding. We're here for that. So a few basic concepts of breastfeeding. How does this work? Well, we are mammals. We have mammary glands, the breast, and how they work is that the alveoli, or lactation glands, are basically modified sweat glands, like in the skins, but in the breast, they are kind of similar to sweat gland, but different. And during pregnancy, you'll have high levels of estrogen and progesterone that keep high during pregnancy, and you will start producing prolactin. That is the hormone that make your body produce milk. During pregnancy, the milk producing aspect is kept in check because estrogen and progesterone levels are high. So you're not going to be producing milk, but breast tissue is going to develop with prolactin. As soon as you give birth, the hormone progesterone and estrogen just drop very rapidly, and prolactin then is not inhibited. The milk production aspect of prolactin is starting, so you will start producing milk. And it is why, like, it's not immediately. It takes a few days for the hormones to just drop, and that's why you don't have milk right away. But you have right away available for the baby a substance that is called what is it called? No. This is not something I should be. I forget it. Yeah.
What's the question you're trying to find out?
Before milk, there's
It's colostrum.
colostrum. Yeah, I had meconium, but it's not the same thing. Colostrum.
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Thank you. So colostrum is going to be readily available, but milk will take a few days, usually like 2 days. It should come. So this is prolactin, is the hormone. Breastfeeding is really hormones that control all of this. And prolactin is the hormone that will give signals to your body to produce milk. And oxytocin, another hormone, is what is going to make the let down reflex work. So prolactin is made like during pregnancy, but after that, you want your body to produce that hormone, and the way to produce it is when the baby suck on the nipple and areola around the nipple. That is when it sends signals through nerves to your brain, and your brain gets that and start making more prolactin. So about 20 to 30 minutes after the baby starts suckling, you will have the highest production of prolactin. So basically, when your baby feeds, your body starts preparing the next feed. And it's why it's really important to feed on demand and very soon after the baby is born. Oxytocin will help with the leg down reflex because it's also the hormone that helps bond with your baby. But when the baby suck, or when you hear your baby cry, your brain is conditioned, and oxytocin will contract the little milk alveoli, and will have the milk go down, the let down reflex. So feeding on demand, that is what is going to have you produce enough milk. And very important too, in breastfeeding, the good latching. And here on this picture, you see the nipple is almost all the way to the back of the baby's mouth, like it's really deep. And in fact, you want the whole nipple and almost the whole areola, like around the nipple, to be in the baby's mouth. This is very important. Otherwise, you might get really sore nipples, and the milk flow won't be very good as well. And if the milk flow is not very good, you produce less, and it's a vicious cycle. So very good, important to have a good latching. And this is something I can explain to you and you can read in books, but really practice is what's necessary, and ask some help with doula, nurse, midwife, and lactation consultant, because this is not something really that books can really teach. Hands-on is better. What can happen in breastfeeding? A lot can happen, and you most likely, possibly every woman will at some point get cracked or irritated nipples, all with chance no more than that, but it can get all the way to infection. So we'll talk about that. There are also condition of tension and depletion that can lead to low supply. So this is the point of view of Ayurveda. Why do you have low supply? Well, that could be because of tension or depletion. You have conditions of excess, so excess supply, too much supply, especially at the beginning when your body gets used to breastfeeding, and breast engorgement, that's a classic. There are conditions of stagnation that could lead to low supply. So that's why low supply, you have to know why. Is this a tension thing? Is it depletion thing? Or is it stagnation? We'll see the difference. And low, stagnation can be just a low supply, but can lead to clogged duct. And clogged duct and blocked duct, and then it can get to infection and mastitis, and this is more serious issue. So first, let's start with nipples issue. So the pictures, breastfeeding, it's so pretty and it seems easy, but when a newborn, it's surprising how powerful their sucking reflex is, and it's your nipple. So it can be quite painful, especially if latching is not good. So consult if necessary right away. You want to have a good technique. But to make sure you take care of your nipples, you want after each feed to dry them well. And you want, if you're using pads, you want to change them often. You want really the nipples to be in a dry and good and like good environment, really, to not develop infection. And lanolin cream is the very basic if you want help with cracked nipples, but you can also use coconut or olive oil. And coconut oil has antibacterial properties, so that can also be helpful just to prevent or also help in case of a little infection. There are issues with thrush fungal infection. This is what I had and I did not realize, and this is very painful. So even in prevention for that, but if you have thrush or infection in your nipples, using garlic, oregano, and thyme in your cooking is a very good idea, because all of these have antibacterial, antimicrobial properties. So you can use quite a bit, like in the cooking, not necessarily medicinally, but it will be fine for your baby. Garlic is better cooked. It's easier to digest, and it should be fine for your baby as well. You want, because fungal infection, it's like candida, they feed on sugar, so avoid sugar in your diet. Very important at all time, really, but now more than ever to eat a balanced diet. In fact, when you breastfeed a baby, you need so much more energy, more than when you were growing the baby before you gave birth. So balanced diet, balanced and nourishing diet. And if you have an infection, always wash the nipples after each feed with soapy water. And you can also try soaking them for a few minutes in a baking soda solution. So 1 teaspoon of baking soda per cup of water, and then dry them really well. Air dry is the best. And if this not resolve rapidly, just doing these things, consult. You don't want to try to just power through that. Doesn't work, and there are antifungal treatments available, so just ask someone. So let's talk about low supply now. So if it's a condition of depletion or tension that gives low supply, this is more like a Vata imbalance. Okay, so first of all, with low supply, there's always the possibility that it's because you're not feeding on demand or there's poor latching. So that is something that you want to make sure is done properly. But also, if it's more like depletion or tension, Vata imbalance, that could be dehydration. And like Vata, if you remember, it's light, it's dry. And so that could be that, like just not enough fluids in your diet, or you already have a tendency to be dry because you have a lot of vata in your constitution. And then maybe you have a diet that is very dry, because hopefully it's not the case, but I know sometimes I would forget to eat and I end up at the middle of the afternoon just grabbing a few things, eating a sandwich, eating crackers. So this is just piling up and creating even more imbalance. And also depletion, just because vata is very light and it's immaterial. If there's too much of it, you might be just, you don't have the strength or the nourishment to produce enough milk. Stress and anxiety and tension can also play a role. If you're very tense or very stressed or very anxious, this can affect the letdown reflex and just milk flow. So what can you do if low supply is because of depletion? So maybe you don't have a nourishing enough diet. So possibly just a few adjustments in your diet and lifestyle can help and solve this issue right away. So enough fluids, you need to drink plenty. Eat at regular times. This is just good habits for your whole life. And that's why you want some help with cooking and have pre-prepared meals, etc. And you also want, because you need more hydration, it's a vata imbalance, so you want mostly moist foods. Soup and stews are good. And nourishing foods, you want to build strength. So things like ghee, almond, dates, avocado, dairy, oatmeal, all these things will help you get the nourishment necessary to produce a good meal. You can also get your fluids with some teas. That's where I did not have much information myself. Like, I did not really have this idea that I could drink anise or fennel or fenugreek or cumin seeds tea, make some mixed, and really these are galactagogues, meaning they will help produce more milk. So you can have that and drink your fluids as teas like that. And also there are supplements that you can reach for. Shatavari is a very classic supplement in Ayurveda that helps stabilize hormones and help with milk production in case of depletion. Vidari is also good for that. And ashwagandha is kind of a general tonic that helps you gain strength and just for production of milk like that. If the low supply is a condition of tension, so maybe you don't have this letdown reflex because you're all tensed and stressed. I know that was part of my problem when I was having this nightmarish experience of breastfeeding, because I had thrush, not really knowing what was to be expected in terms of pain. And I was trying to breastfeed my baby and I was so tense that nothing was coming out. And so first thing, take care of pain. That's if pain does not resolve in just a few days, like adjustment at the beginning and cracked nipples, you should get some advice from someone like your midwife, doctor, or male consultant. You also want to reduce stress in your life. So the things about having a messy house, don't let that worry you, and ask for help if you need. Also, very simple breathing exercise can really help ease tension, maybe as much as needed, but before feeding, you can take a deep breath in, and twice as long exhale will really help mediate like stress and calm you down. Meditation is a good way also. And go on gentle walks, go in nature, look at trees, breathe the fresh air. This is all good things. And there are also a few calming herbal teas that you could be taking that will help with just the stress and tension, nervous tension, and these are all safe in breastfeeding. So chamomile, licorice, passion flower, St. John wort, and vervain. But as with anything, you want to try like low dose, maybe a tea, see how you react, but it's all safe. So things to explore. Another way that you could get a low supply is because of stagnation. So this is a condition where fluids don't move as well as they should. And this depletion and tension are more conditions of Vata dosha imbalance, and this is more Kapha dosha. Kapha is dense, and people with more Kapha in their constitution have a tendency already to have thicker and richer fluids. And maybe if you add that like a too rich diet with too much sweet, salty, sour, or gooey food, that's going to make it worse. Little or no exercise will make the fluids even more stagnant. And this can lead to poor letdown reflex or just milk that does not flow very easily. So the baby might be sucking, but the milk is so rich, doesn't come very easily. And then since less flows out, there's going to be less to be made for next time. So it starts on a vicious circle. So again, not feeding on demand, poor latching might also contribute to stagnation. So what you want to do when you're facing this situation is that you want a little bit of the opposite of what you would do in case of depletion. You don't want very rich meals. You want light meals. You still want to eat at regular times, but you want your meals to be lighter. Like in case of depletion, like you want a very nourishing, maybe hearty meal. In case of stagnation, maybe it's more like the broth or like maybe less moist. You could have like more of a salad or rice or with vegetables. Lots of vegetables is good. Reduce meat, reduce like things that are very rich. Sugar, obviously. And you can also use digestive stimulants that will help with digestion overall, but that will also bring some heat. And heat is good to fluidify all these thick fluids in your body. So ginger, very classic. Black pepper, trikatu, which is ginger, black pepper, and pipali in equal proportion. Pipali is long pepper in Ayurveda, and turmeric. So these you could take before meals, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon with honey, for example, or just with water. And they will help with digestion and also just break fluid, just help with having less congealed and stagnant fluids in general, which will reflect in your milk. You can also take teas, anise, fenugreek, fennel, and cumin, same as with low supply for any other situation. That will help with milk production, and they are also digestives in general. And you want to move more. Movement will help with any case of stagnation. There are other reasons why you would have low supply, and they can be hormonal, glandular, or structural. And this is beyond the scope of this presentation. So if really you cannot augment your milk production with the tricks I give you, you should consult a physician or a practitioner. That could be a deeper problem. Hormonal, there are herbs and things and supplements you can take, but you want to consult. Now let's talk about condition of excess. too much production. This will happen most likely at the beginning of your breastfeeding journey, when the body is not quite used to what's going on and hormones are a little bit all over the place. So there's a lot of production, more than what comes out. But it might be that there's the adequate production, but just improper latching, poor letdown reflex, or maybe you've skipped a feeding or you wean too rapidly. So all these can lead to engorged breast, and this can be quite painful, but at this point is not yet problematic. It becomes problematic when you start having clogged ducts and infection. Engorged breast, you just want the milk to go out, but it's not yet very problematic, but it can be painful, so you want to deal with that. The trick really is that you need to nurse more often to get the milk out, but sometimes like it's so full that it's kind of hard to do. So you might want to express milk by hand or with a pump. Plus, like if you express milk that way, there's less stimulation, so possibly a bit less milk that is being produced at this time. So that's how you would deal with that. You can massage breast when you are feeding to help have the milk flow out. And you can use cold compress to help with pain, and warm compress or a warm shower to encourage the letdown reflex. As I said, like the lactation glands, it's like modified sweat glands, and the ducts and everything, like it's response to warmth. If you use warmth, they are gonna dilate, and it's gonna help with letting the milk flow out. You can use also, there are a few herbs or things you can use, the folk remedies like cabbage leaves on the breast will help with engorgement, and peppermint tea and sage teas would help reduce milk production. But you have to be careful with that, because you don't want to overdo it if you're not trying to wean your baby and stop breastfeeding. So just be mindful about that. But these are good ways to lower the production. And of course, if you have condition of excess, you want to stop taking fenugreek or all your nice little teas that you've been taking to produce more milk. So if we have stagnation, the danger is that it leads to blockage. So a clogged duct is when the milk is not going through, there's a physical barrier. And this, if it's just that and you manage to unblock it and it's solved, that's great. But pretty fast, it can degenerate into a mastitis and cause really inflammation and all the way to an infection, mastitis. So what you want to do for a mastitis is you want to nurse, massage, express, and pump, get the milk out. But as soon if you have a fever, you want to consult your midwife, doctor, or lactation consultant, because it can degenerate pretty fast. But in prevention, or if you're just starting to see signs, you can do as a diet for the condition of stagnation, meaning easy to digest food, light meals, moist food with lots of vegetables, like nothing heavy and too rich, and use digestive aids, but not without too much heat, because there's already like heat there. Pitta is present, it is the infection. So keep it a bit mild with chamomile, cumin, coriander, and fennel. These are good digestive aids, but they don't bring too much heat. They won't aggravate pitta. And here we have some herbs that are known to help for mastitis, especially, but they are safe and they have an action to help with blockage and stagnation. But these herbs that I put there for your information, you might want to do some research or consult with an herbalist or naturopath. But they are not anything that would be dangerous or anything. So this is my presentation really on breastfeeding, and really breastfeeding is amazing, and it's the natural way of feeding a baby, and it's the way that has the most benefits for the baby for sure, but also for the mother, because once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. You have everything your baby needs right there at any time. You don't have to pack bottles and stuff. So it's really practical in that sense. There are other challenges, of course, but that's something to consider. But yeah, there are the challenges like of breastfeeding all the time, but also the challenges we've been talking about that could have many causes and will vary from woman to woman. So that's why it is important to understand what might be the cause of you facing like low supply or engorgement or not good letdown reflex, and there are ways to mediate that. And hopefully it's very simple with just a few diet change, lifestyle change, and you can have the best breastfeeding experience possible. That's all I wish for any new moms. Thank you very much. And now, if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. That was a fabulous presentation.
Okay, I'm back.
I left a couple comments in the chat box promoting you, of course, and our up and coming classes. Anyone have any questions? Penny?
Yeah. Is it possible? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible to get a copy of your slides?
Yeah, sure. I could maybe send to okay, send to Elizabeth. Okay, I can do that.
I will definitely get those to you, Penny.
That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. I would appreciate that so much.
Well, we appreciate you being here.
I tried. Yeah, I try to listen, but I'm working at my job, and so I didn't really get to hear every little detail. And you gave great information, so I can read the notes. It'll help me.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Multitasker here.
The other thing I wanted to say is I think there's new protocols on mastitis. It's been really hard on a lot of us lactation nurses because old days we always put the heat and we massaged and we did all those things to try to get the milk flowing and help where it was a lump or it was red swollen. And now the new recommendations is they don't want you touching anything red or hot. They don't want you to massage it. They don't really want the heat, and they want the cold and the cabbage, and they don't want you really touching the area. So and then any fever, chills, or you feel like you have the flu, then you need to maybe be seen for antibiotics.
Yeah.
But,
it can go pretty fast from blockage and a little pain to really high fever, so you want to be careful. The,
Yeah.
the best way really is to try to avoid getting there. So that's why they are the result of stagnation. So that's why if you
It's true. Yeah. So no wired bras. Don't miss feedings. Once you miss feedings, things can get kind of full in there and they kind of back up. You want to, keep the milk flowing, on a regular basis, either frequent breastfeeding or pumping. And then the other thing that I'm really big on is I see a lot of mothers and dads change diapers and they don't always wash. And a mother doesn't want to touch her nipples with the possibility of any stool on her fingers because I still totally believe that some of those infections can crawl up the nipple into the breast, bacteria can get into the breast. So make sure your hands are clean, before you start, make sure you wash and.
Oh, I'm wondering if we lost connection with her. Darn. Oh, there she is again. Penny, are you with us? Something I wanted to bring up is one of my friends was pumping at the time, and she was just like cleaning up the house, and she had this like breast pump that was wireless. So they're like coming up with all these amazing things. So that busy mom life, there's still a way to do all that you need to do on the go.
Yeah, which is good in a sense, but at the same time, that's when like it can catch up with you, especially the first 6 weeks. Just don't believe you're a Wonder Woman. Just take the time, because after that you'll feel ready, and yeah, with the breast pump you'll be the Wonder Woman. But yeah, take time to recover. Giving birth is a major event for sure.
And that connection with your child and breastfeeding, there's nothing like it from what I've heard from my friends that have given birth, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's beautiful, but it can be very hard. I have a horrible, like I was ready, I had read, I was so motivated, and I had this horrible experience with my firstborn. And that's years later that when I was learning about Ayurveda, I understood so many things of what happened to me. And that's why I wanted to share with people, because for me it was more dryness, definitely tension, and I had thrush, but like English is not my first language, so this word did not mean anything to me. So someone had mentioned, oh, you might have thrush, but didn't light any bulb, and I was just trying to power through pain, but it was making me so tense. So yeah, awful. But it can be great, and that's what I wish for everyone. So Penny, are you you're a lactation consultant?
I just clicked to ask to mute. I believe she is. Her and I have talked about that in the past. Oh, there she is.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, yes, I am. I worked at Good Samaritan Multi-Care for a year, and then I just spent this year I was in the Bellevue Clinic with Kaiser. So yeah, I've been helping moms for a really long time, and yeah, there's a lot of science, and it's a lot of good stuff in breastfeeding. So I try to promote it all I can. You did a great job today.
Thank you. Yeah, very important work that you do, like you're essential, because it does not come so natural. Like you think it would, but it's not. Yeah, maybe for some women, but not for all, for sure. You need some help, I believe.
That is for sure. That is so true.
Yeah.
Well, that's why there's lovely folks like both of you out there that are in the community helping. And so for those of you that are watching live, this presentation will be on our YouTube channel. And so like and subscribe. And Ariane, you're amazing. Just so amazing. Your presentation was fabulous. And every time I get the chance to work with you is a true blessing. So thank you.
Same with me, with you. Thank you. I appreciate working with you. Okay, so if there's no more questions, hopefully everybody around you has good breastfeeding experience, but I'm happy if there's questions coming after. I will put email here.
So what's the YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I'm gonna re-enter that here in the chat box. It was somewhere. Oh, there it is. And I'm gonna also put it on our Facebook live stream because I don't think it got on the description of the video. So there we go. We have a catalog of even some 2020 presentations when we first started rolling out this online platform. There's several from 2021 and a lot from 2022. So definitely check it out. Actually, Ariane's seasonal eating with Ayurveda is on there, available to watch. So definitely look out for that replay. She always puts on the most amazing presentations, and really excited for 2023 class year. It's going to be amazing. Yeah,
there's going to be more of different subjects, always with Ayurveda, because it's fascinating.
It is, yeah, you can really go with just about any topic, and it's all connected.
Yeah, it is. And it all comes down with to digestion, ultimately. Food.
That's why you're doing the IBS rollout of your program next month.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. If you're able to send me the PowerPoint and then that information, I'd love to promote it as much as I can.
Okay, I will do that. I might not have time tonight, but I'll do that first thing tomorrow.
Great. Well, thank you everyone so much for tuning in live and here in the Zoom meeting. Hope you all have a wonderful evening and happy holidays.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Thank you.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Yeah.